have noticed over the past couple of years, half of them have noticed that the price of their membership has gone up. You will know if you're a member of a gym, it's not cheap. Average is between 25 and 50 quid a month, excuse me, depending on the type of gym that you're a member of. But there is a growth in the industry. This is what's interesting, around 4% more compared to 2 years ago, and the value of the industry as a whole is really booming. It's gone up by around 11%. Let's speak to David. This won't come as a surprise for you, but you've had to manage the overheads at your pools, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. I work for a business that manages 3 leisure pools in Lincolnshire, and the cost of energy has gone up £880,000 since April 22, so it's a really tough environment for these organisations to operate in at the moment. But the benefits that we give back are so huge. You've met the customers today. That whole piece around well-being, around mental health, around their physical health, it's such a huge value. And of course, the prices. You know, there are clubs out there you can get for £4 a week if you want to. You don't need to train in a gym. You can get physical activity anywhere. Go for a walk, go for a ride.
Don't you think it's quite interesting that during lockdown I was one of those people who'd never been fitter, and I couldn't spend money at the gym, and so learned how to get fit at home. And despite that, the inverse has happened as we've come out of lockdown. People have decided to spend and spend more. Yeah. What do you think is the psychology around that?
I think there's a lot to do with, there's a group of people who went through COVID who lost their confidence socially. Yeah. And I think one of the things that these places do is give you that ability to mix with different people, find new friends, and find things that are in common. So I think there's a piece around people's mental well-being and health within there. And I also think there's a whole change in the workplace. You know, lots of people used to have a gym membership because it was on the way to work or it was away from work. That's quite different now with hybrid working.
It's been really lovely seeing the social aspect this morning. For me, who's been out of the game for a little while, just had a baby, what would you recommend as a sort of entry gentle way back into it?
There's all kinds of things. The options are huge, you know, from yoga, Pilates to doing some classes. We have some fantastic group exercise instructors out there. And these people operate in the community as well. So you can find them in your local hall, your local village hall, PTs in the park, that type of stuff. But most importantly, find something that you enjoy and do it with a friend. Yeah. Because if you do it with a buddy, you're much more likely to commit to doing it. You're much more likely to make sure your routine is achieved.
And little and often is preferable,
absolutely.
Isn't it? Because then you're not putting that pressure on yourself. Thank you so much, David. Now, Grace promised